Does saying these two words terrify you? Did you know that there are two pronunciations of this word? And are you worried when you say this word, it's going to sound like something very, very rude in English? Because when it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. Well, fear no more, because this lesson is the complete guide to pronouncing these two words in a modern British RP accent. You will be able to pronounce them with confidence. And yes, we will even talk about that very, very rude word. But spoiler alert, I'm not actually going to say it in this lesson. I'm just going to say what it rhymes with, because number one, it's very, very rude. And number two, I don't really want to get banned by YouTube. Hey guys, and welcome to English Right Now. If you are returning, welcome back. And if you're new here, my name is Roy and I'm a British English teacher, and I mainly specialize in teaching a modern British RP accent and all things connected to British English. But now, without any further delay, let's talk about these two words in a modern British RP accent. So let's talk about this one first. Now, most of you know that this can be a modal verb. Now, interestingly enough, when this word is a modal verb, it has both a strong and weak form. And notice I said when it is a modal verb. Now, we'll get into that. Now, we can use this word, for example, to talk about ability or possibility. So let's talk about the strong form pronunciation first. So this is can, can, k, a, n, k, a, n. And notice that n at the end is pronounced n. It's not n. So we don't say can, it's can, can. So it has the first two sounds from the word cat, k, a, t, and a sound, can. So we tend to use the strong form of this modal verb, can, when we really want to emphasize it or stress the word, or when we say the word on its own. So for example, if you ask a native English speaker how to say this word, they will say can. They will use the strong form. So the strong form of this word is can. Now let's talk about the weak form. So the weak form is k, can. So it has a schwa in the middle, that I've made a lesson all about the pronunciation of the schwa and how important it is in a modern British RP accent. I will link it up here. I always forget where the thing comes, but I'll link it up here and I'll also put it down in the description below so you can learn more about the schwa. So the weak form pronunciation of this word is can. Now, we tend to use the weak form in a natural flowing conversation when it isn't the main verb. And because it is a modal verb, it is often affecting another verb. So for example, I can speak Portuguese. True story, because I actually lived in Brazil for quite a few years. Amazing country, add it to your holiday list. So notice that I said I can speak Portuguese. I can speak Portuguese. I didn't use the strong form. I didn't say I can speak Portuguese. I said I can speak Portuguese. That's because the verb speak is the more important verb, and therefore we stress that verb rather than can. And in terms of the modal verb, we tend to use the weak form much more commonly. And the pronunciation of the weak form does sound a bit closer to that very rude word. That's coming at the end of the lesson. So just to refresh, the positive modal verb has a strong and weak form. It can be can as the strong form and can with a schwa as the weak form. Now, strong forms and weak forms are one area that we talk about on my course, The Ultimate British Pronunciation Guide. Now, my course is designed to help you master a modern British RP accent, and it covers things like all of the sounds that you need, how to make them, how to position your tongue, things like this, connected speech, weak form, strong forms, and compares a modern British RP accent with other accents around the UK. I'll tell you more about the course towards the end of this lesson, but if you'd like to know more about the course, do send me a message in the comments below and I will tell you more. But before we move on to the negative form, let's say a few more things about this word. So if we're using this word as a noun, for example, a container, for example, a can of soup, we use can. As a noun, it doesn't really have a weak form. So you would say a can of soup or a can of drink. Now, notice in the UK, some people will say tin instead of can, but today we're focusing on that word C-A-N. Likewise, this word can be used as a verb, which means to put something into a container, and the pronunciation is also can. So for example, this is the factory where they can soup, to can soup. So again, the pronunciation is can. And also, an informal use of this word means to stop making noise. So for example, you could say, shh, can it, will you? I'm trying to work. Now, apparently this slang is more common in the US, but I have heard my mum tell me to can it more than once. So just to recap, as a modal verb, it's got a strong form, can, and a weak form, can. And as a noun and as a verb when it's not a modal verb, we used can. So now let's move on to the negative form. In a modern British RP accent, the negative form of this word is can't. Can't. K-A-N-T. Can't. So it has that long vowel sound. Can't. I can't exercise today. I can't exercise today. Can't. The key to pronouncing this word is that vowel sound. So let's compare the pronunciation of the two words. So as a strong form, this word is can. As a weak form, can. And in the negative, it's can't. Can, can't. Can, can't. So the vowel sounds are ah. 3 different vowel sounds which will help you sound much more natural when saying these words. Now, I mentioned it earlier, we talk all about pronunciation in a modern British RP accent on my course, covering all of the sounds, connected speech, the stress, the rhythms, comparing it with other accents, the strong forms, the weak forms, and so on and so on. It is the ultimate guide to help you master a modern British RP accent. And it will help you avoid other rude words as well, and also master that modern British RP accent. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about the course, and I will send you some more information. But now let's talk about that very rude word. So a lot of people panic about saying the negative form and making it sound like a very bad word. Now this word is horrific. I'm not even going to write it, but I will say it's spelled C-U-N-T. So U for uniform. That's how much I don't like saying this word. I don't even like writing it. But in the bad word, the swear word, the vowel sound is an vowel sound. It's the same vowel sound we see in the word cup. K-U-P. And this would also use that vowel sound. In fact, it rhymes with the word runt. R-U-N-T. Runt. So if you really want to avoid saying that bad word, make sure you hold on to that long R vowel sound. So the strong form of this word is can and uses that A vowel sound. The weak form is can and uses the schwa. The negative form is can't and uses that R vowel sound. And the rude word, which I'm not going to say, sorry guys, Google it if you really need to, uses the vowel sound, rhymes with runt, and starts with the same 2 sounds as cup. That should help you say it if you really want to say it. But I strongly advise that you do not use this word when speaking English. Let me know in the comments below any other lessons that you would like to learn here on this channel with me. But from me today, all it leaves me to say is thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye guys.